My name is Wayne Watkins. I'm a project manager with Wake County Economic Development.
Okay, great. All right. Do you want to start with any questions?
I guess a lot of what we've been talking about with a lot of people is a lot of the difficulty that local businesses have faced, especially in light of the economic situation. It's kind of just been really hard on local, like mom and pop kind of businesses. Has that been an issue for Wake County? Is there? I guess what do you think? What kind of issues do local businesses face in Wake County and the city of Raleigh?
Well, I think that with regards to like the current economic crisis, recession, whatever, it hasn't really become manifest on the street here as much yet like it has in the Northeast or Detroit or some of the harder hit areas in California or Florida. I mean, typically the triangle has been kind of the last to go into a dip or a recession, and typically the first to come out. We don't have, obviously, manufacturing. I mean, a lot of the supply chain heavy industries here. So right now, they're not retreating radically, but they're not moving forward either. It's kind of status quo. But in '09, I think or by the second quarter of '09, you're probably going to see this permeate down, even here. So it's hard to say. I mean, it's hard to speak for every mom and pop out there. But right now, I mean, the indicators are. I mean, credit's obviously tight for everybody. So if you take an individual industry, you just have to go vertical with it. So, for example, everybody talks about housing. Well, it hit in Florida a lot harder and a lot more severe months ago, a year ago, whereas we're just now here starting to kind of to feel a little bit, but it's not wholesale retreat or foreclosure. You just see houses that are sitting on the market for longer. It's just like, wow, 12 months ago these things were just flipping quickly. Now they're not. So, but looking ahead to that, it's going to become. I think it's going to become more manifest on the street over the next 12 months. So it'll start to hit the supply chain on that as well.
When you say manifest more on the street, what do you really mean by that?
Well, I mean, you guys said mom and pop, so you look at, again, using home building as an example. Right now, it's when the product's not moving, it's not really affecting manifest on the street yet. All the nodes in the supply chain, building supply companies, any of the inputs that go into housing right now, I mean, they're probably okay, but it takes a while for that to ripple down to the on the street level. Does that clarify?
Let's see. Why do you think that the triangle kind of has, I guess you're saying, kind of has a unique position, and like you said, it'll be the last to kind of feel the effects and the first to come out. Why do you think that is? Is it just?
Well, I mean, the strengths here it's a knowledge-based economy. It's not factor-based productivity. So if Detroit, for example, went under, everybody's heard the big three. If they tanked, it's going to just reverberate all the way down the supply chain. It doesn't really affect us here. It's R&D. It's anchored by the three universities. It's neck up, and typically those economies are more resistant to downturns. Whereas if it's more of a factor-based productivity, factor-based economy, they're much more sensitive to it, and they reflect difficulties more quickly. Research and development and biotech and pharmaceutical will go on. It has to go on. It's not something you're like, well, we'll cut back this year, times are tight. When the medicines, for example, that are born out of that R&D, you kind of have to have that, whereas you can say, well, maybe we're not going to buy that new car this year. So it's a good position to be in from that angle, kind of a neck up approach.
Right. We've kind of, in a lot of the research we've been doing, we've seen kind of how Raleigh is one of the faster growing places in the Southeast.
Right.
Do you think that reflects the job market? what is the job market like really in Raleigh, essentially?
And overall, it's fairly robust, but I mean, again, you're going to see like the national average in unemployment is going up. And so let's say, just using round numbers, let's say it went up by two points. Well, here it might go up by half a point, but it's going to dampen. I mean, it's going to happen. It's not a question of if, but when and how severe it will be. It's still an attractive place. I mean, quality of life, cost is cheaper here. It's a progressive region in the southeast, obviously. A lot of educated folks. The overall demographic is very attractive. It's a cost-effective place to locate a business. It's an effective place to recruit talent from, organic talent that's here. You have talent graduating from 3 anchor universities that want to stay here. It's a good place to live. I mean, a lot of these built-in advantages you can't replicate or create. It's kind of like you have it or you don't. And we have it, fortunately. So, I mean, the sum of those parts will make us more resistant to some of the depressionary or recessionary, rather, forces that are going on right now.